Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back. We're going to be talking about the Amityville horror. This is based on a true story and has been turned into movies and basically just made famous because of the crime, but also the paranormal activity. I'm going to be colouring while we talk about this. It all begins in a place called Amityville. No way. This is 30 miles from New York City, and the house is at 112 Ocean Avenue. Quite like a nice looking house, to be honest, quite sweet. On November the 13th, 1974, 23-year-old Ronald J. Defoe Jr. murdered his entire family, so his 2 parents and 4 siblings, as they slept. He shot them all with a .35 Marlin rifle. Is that how you say stuff for guns? I don't know. So I also read, I don't know if this is true necessarily, that he went to a bar afterwards and told people at the bar that his family had all been killed. Originally he said it was due to a mob hit, which I didn't really look into it, but I saw as I was reading stuff that his father had been involved in the mob or with the mob, so that was a believable kind of story, but that wasn't true. A couple of people from the bar accompanied him to the house to show them what happened, and someone or a couple of people called the police, and yeah, that's when he obviously tells the police that it was a mob hit. But then the next day he confesses to it all anyway, so that was pointless. He claimed that voices from the house were telling him to do it, and once he started, he just couldn't stop. You have his parents, Ronald Defoe Sr., his dad obviously, his mum, Louise. You have his sisters, Dawn, who was 18, and Alison, who was 13, and his brothers, Mark, who was 12, and John, who was 7. So they were all found face down in their beds with their hands above their heads. And weirdly, neighbours apparently didn't even report hearing any gunshots. So they must all be very heavy sleepers. So on the 14th of October 1975, he was convicted of all 6 murders. Originally they tried to claim insanity, as they always do, but this was overturned and he was sentenced to 25 years to life. Now I feel like for murdering... Sorry, I'm trying to find a decent colour. For murdering your whole family, 6 people, 25 years isn't a lot for a starting point. But who am I? I'm not the police or the judge. It's actually got nothing to do with the police, how long people get sentenced for. So he did actually end up dying in prison at the age of 69 in March 2021. So it's good that he never actually got out, obviously. He did try to appeal his sentence many times, but they were overturned each time. Obviously they're going to try it on, but I also feel like, what is actually the point? Because, come on. So, I'm not really going to talk about him anymore because I want to focus on the hauntings. So, I was really hoping to find a humongous list of things that happened at this house, and it would really creep me out, and I'd be like, oh my god, this is why it's so famous. But I was a bit disappointed. It all began with a family, the Lutz family, or Lutz. I don't really know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to switch out. So 13 months after the murders happened, the Lutz family moved in. The house was dirt cheap at $80,000, obviously due to the murders. Not many people were lining up to purchase the house. But anyway, they only lived in the house for 28 days, which, you know, I mean, that's a film, isn't it? 28 days later. 28 days later, they left because they were so freaked out with the goings on in the house, they couldn't possibly stay there any longer. And I will tell you what happened. Actually, no, I won't. No, I will. So I was going to say something else, I don't know what. So the father of the family, George, he was said to have in his past dabbled in the occult. What does that mean? What does that actually mean? I don't know. But apparently he did that. So yeah, in the house at 3:15 every morning, he would wake up, look over his clock, I imagine, be like, 3:15 again. Weird. Yeah, and apparently this was around the time of the murders. Creepy. The paranormal activity that happened there, the only things I could really find, there's probably a lot more, but are such as a knife in the kitchen being knocked down on its own, a garage door opening and closing. One source that I read said a garage door nearby open and closing, and I'm like, what, as in like a garage door that doesn't even belong to them but it just happens to be near the house? Doesn't really, whatever. I'm guessing it was their garage door that kept opening and closing on its own. That'd be so annoying, wouldn't it? Like, you've got your car in there and you're ready to leave and then it just closes, and then you're like, come on, dude. You get out of your car to open it, then it opens on its own. Then you get in your car to leave and then it shuts again. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just more inconvenient than anything else, you know? Not funny. A pig-like creature staring at George and his son Daniel from a window. I was going to say it isn't a pig something to do with the devil, but it's not, is it? Is it a ram? Something? Sheep? No. George, also witnessed his wife Kathy levitating off the bed, and also his two sons, Daniel and Christopher, did the same on their beds as well. Very strange, huh? They also would smell weird smells in the house. I don't really know what the smells were. I would imagine musty, dusty and crusty. That's the things I would smell. I don't know what crust smells like, but musty, you know, that kind of damp, musty smell, I feel would make sense. And also they saw green slime oozing from the walls and the keyholes. That's pretty random. And they would also notice odd cold spots around the house. Ooh. I mean, this room I'm in now is the coldest spot in our house, so I feel like this might be haunted. That'd be exciting. No, it wouldn't, please. Actually, don't. Please don't haunt me. I don't want this. So they even had a priest come round and bless the house. And he heard a voice telling him to get out. I don't know if it was said like that, but you can't have a voice be like, get out, because that's not. But yeah, so the priest heard that and he was like, WTF, bro. And then he basically told the family to never sleep in this room ever. So something was up with that room. Probably because there was someone in there telling him to get out. I kind of find it weird that ghosts seem to only, or they seem to make out that ghosts are only in a particular room, or like one particular room can be extremely haunted. Why not just the whole house? It's not like you can just be like, oh my god, this room is so haunted, shut the door. Oh, it's fine. Surely not. Like, can't be that simple, can it? Oh, goodness. Were they talking shit or were they telling the truth, this family? Because there are a lot of people that believe that it was all a hoax. So let's dive into that theory. Basically, apparently they had some financial and legal issues, and people believe that they made up the hauntings to sell to the public and make some money, which would make sense if you were in financial distress. You would A, buy a really cheap house, wouldn't you? And B, if you knew loads of people died in there, you'd be like, well, it being haunted makes sense, it's believable. Let's say it was. And also the fact that he dabbled in the occult, you know, George. I find that really random. So, you know. But the occult's to do with witches, isn't it? Not hauntings. Am I right? No. So the couple actually did pass a lie detector test, but I despise lie detector tests because they are not accurate whatsoever. So all that like apparently goes on is your heartbeat or your heart rate going up when you get nervous when you're lying. But if you're like cool as a cucumber and you're a professional liar, it's not gonna go off, is it? Or like, I don't know. So they had a lawyer called William Weber. So in 1979, he apparently fell out with them about money and stuff. Maybe they didn't pay him. He claimed that the stories were made up over many bottles of wine. So I guess the couple confided that in him, unless he's just really angry and is making that up. Who knows? But their son Daniel claims that he is still like haunted by that house even to this day. I don't know what day. I don't know if it's this day, you know, because when I read this, I don't know how old it was. I didn't look, sorry. But apparently it's ruined his life. Those are his words. And he still has nightmares about what happened. But you never know, like, did his dad go to such extreme lengths that it made even Daniel believe that it was haunted? Do you know what I mean? You just don't know. Like, he could be chucking knives around and doing all sorts of weird shit. You know, that would ruin a kid's life, right? Because, so there have been 4 families lived there since the murders. And I think it's occupied at the moment, and I'm pretty sure that couple, unless it was a couple before or whatever, had been living there for many, many years. Like, we're talking at least 10 years. And they have claimed nothing weird is happening in that house, nothing untoward, nothing creepy, nothing haunted, nothing. That's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, if no one else has claimed that anything's going on, it kind of makes it hard for you to believe the Lutz family. The fact that they only stayed there 28 days, though, it kind of makes me wonder, like, surely they didn't make enough money from the story in those 28 days to be able to then afford somewhere better. I don't really know. I didn't look into them, and I should have done that. I'm sorry. The address of the house has been changed to 108 Ocean Avenue. I don't really see the point. It's almost like, I just why? Maybe they don't want the publicity now of it being 112, but now everyone knows it's 108, so that kind of defeats that purpose. Yes, and I've looked at pictures of it, and it's actually, I'll show you, it's quite a cute house, to be honest. You wouldn't think. They've apparently done something to the creepy round windows at the top. But if there's no ghostly goings on in there anymore, then what can you do? It is now just, even though maybe it's not, I mean, it's still famous for being haunted, but I think it's just more famous for being a murder house. Apparently horror fans do drive by and have a look at it, but I think, to be honest, it's more, if you were into true crime, you'd be going there and having a look, because that was like the worst murder to hit Amityville in like forever, or a long time. So in my opinion, I think these hauntings were probably a load of shite, which I don't know if that's fair, but right, anyway, so thank you for watching. That's all the colouring I did. Pretty crap. I don't know, this is a city colouring book. Colouring buildings isn't my forte, but I should have done that one because it's got trees in it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Even if you don't like watching my videos, just subscribe anyway, because, you know, whatever. Don't really. No, actually do. But take care of yourselves. Keep them ghosts away. And I'll see you next time. Bye.